Most resumes just get put at the bottom of the pile, they never make it anywhere. So there is something that you have to understand as a hiring manager, and I've hired hundreds of people, conducted, I can't even tell you how many interviews, and I don't want to think about how many resumes I've read. But for technical roles, I have hired over the last 15 years. And it's the same problem over and over and over again with resumes from talented people who I don't select because they're missing one critical thing on their resume. And it's the root cause is this. I'm a hiring manager and I'm reading a resume. Why am I reading a resume? It's not because I have an open job. You have to go a little bit deeper than that to understand why I'm reading a resume and what you need to put on your resume in order to get my attention and to get me to put it someplace where I'm probably going to call you for a phone screen. I don't have an empty chair to fill. I got problems. I have problems. Why do I have problems? Because the business has problems. Right now, the business is challenged with trying to navigate a downturn. And so the problems that the business has are in hyper focus. There's no longer this, well, we just need people filling a chair. We need people who can solve problems, but that's not what you put on your resume. A lot of people do that. They put, hey, I solved this problem, this problem, this problem, this problem. No one cares. That still goes to the bottom of the pile. It's not about the skills that you list on your resume. It's not about the years of experience that you have on your resume. A lot of people are saying, oh, degrees matter now and years are going to... No, that's wrong. No hiring manager right now cares about how many years of experience you have. Believe me, the pressure that the majority of hiring managers are under has everything to do with outcomes. That's what you need on your resume. You have to put tangible outcomes. Not just I built. We don't care what you've built because we have a number of data professionals who can build all day, every day. None of it has any value. None of it solves our problem in the way we as hiring managers need solved. And that's what you have to put on your resume. Let me explain how, because that's another thing. People don't do this well on their resumes. They don't explain how they solved the problem with value in mind. And later on in this video, I'm going to talk about value-centric language, but let me explain the problem. The problem is, again, skills I built, but not because of that, something happened that the business cares about. I get a million resumes from people who can build models, can build data pipelines, you can move models into production. I mean, that's awesome. I love that you can do that, and that's definitely a requirement. But the people I put at the top of the pile and the people I'm trying to hire, they know why they do their job. What's the point? And not the work product. It's that there's an outcome on the other side of it. And right now, companies need two things. And this is what your hiring manager is getting beaten up over. They need cost savings because inflation it increases costs. So you need to reduce it. I need to bring it back down so that profit margins remain consistent. If I can't do that, I'm not going to hire that person. I need someone who can do, especially in data science and analytics, I need someone who can apply their capabilities for cost savings projects. So I need to see outcomes about cost savings. And that can be two types of language. Like I said, I'll get to that in a little bit. But you need to explain cost savings with relationships to what you build. The next thing is new sources of revenue. Cost savings are huge, but revenue rules all. That will, for me and for most hiring managers, that'll put you on the top of the pile. If you have revenue attached to projects that you've delivered, you're a rare data professional. That's huge. And that needs to be on your resume because that's what companies are dying for. That's the outcome that they care about. Let me talk to you about the different types of cost savings initiatives that we're looking for. Things like workforce automation, addressing the talent shortage using any sort of automation where the business can't hire enough people fast enough or can't get the capabilities that they need or talent's too expensive. Anything that you do automation to address that problem is huge. Put those on your resume. If you can help the business select software that makes data more accessible. That's a huge, huge thing. Data complexity is something that every business is struggling with. So being able to select software, not even being able to build it yourself, but being able to help the business select software. They selected software and it did. I'm going to get to that language, that framework, which you can hear me talking about it right now. And then finally, if you can implement a platform, implement customized solutions that deliver models to users or that optimize the data science, data engineering, machine learning engineering, or machine learning ops job, if you can optimize so that fewer people are needed or the same number of people can do more work, that's an outcome. And you're hearing, I'm almost teasing how I'm going to tell you to build this. And then finally, like I said, revenue. Revenue is king. Anything new products and features that customers paid for. Huge, huge. So let me talk about value-centric language. The majority of resumes can throw a couple of numbers out there and percentages out there, but you have to have, it's almost a story. You have to have something that makes sense. If you just throw a number out there and it's not connected to anything, okay, it's not credible. I don't know how much of what that number means to you or what did you do, or I don't get it. So you can't just dangle numbers out there. That's another huge mistake people make. So here's what you have to do. You have a capability. You build a data pipeline. You build models. You understand computer vision. Whatever it is, you can do analysis. You can use a particular platform. Doesn't matter. So you have a capability. What is the outcome of that capability? So I can use a capability to build a data pipeline that does something with data. Does it handle streaming data? Does it handle, what did you connect with? What technologies have you integrated? Whatever it is, what type of data have you worked with to build a model that? So that is I use this capability to build this thing. And that's where most people stop. And that's why that's why the resume goes to the bottom. Next step's critical. Business value. So what did that create? And so if you're talking about workforce automation, how many hours did you save? How many full-time equivalents did you save? How many people did they not need to hire? How many people in a really, really complex job that they couldn't get staffing for? How many people did they not have to go out there and staff and support and get? Were they able to scale faster? Was the business able to take on more customers with the same level of staffing? I helped the business scale too. That solution helped the business scale too. That solution saved hours every month. That solution increased the quality of work products by, and you hear this, here's my capability, here's the thing I built, here's the business outcome, cost savings. Is it workforce automation? Did you address talent shortage somehow? If you help select software, what was the productivity bump of that? Did you reduce the number of requests to the data science team or to the analytics team? Were you able to help other organizations adopt self-service solutions? And so now your group was focused on, and so you were able to say, we reduced the number of requests by, and we were able to rededicate how many hours? How many hours was your team able to? Because you helped another organization within the business buy the right solution that actually took work off your plate. And you're hearing me, I'm talking about an outcome. And obviously that's an outcome that a hiring manager cares about. Wait, you mean I don't have to deal with all of these external requests anymore? You're going to reduce that thing that I hate? Think about that. Attack the things that your hiring manager might hate. And I'm going to get to customization right after this because that's the next big thing. But finally, also improvement. So you've got capabilities, outcome, business value, and now, did you improve that project? Did that project become something better? Because we do that, right? We don't just drop a version. Here you go, we're done. At least you shouldn't be doing that. If you do, change now. We do improvement and continuous improvement. That's critical too. Tell me how much you were able to improve the solution. How much more valuable were you able to make that solution as time went on? How much more value were you able to deliver? So I improved it from doing this many hours to this many hours of savings. I improved it to reduce the number of service requests that we had to handle. Those one-off, can you just do this one report or this one data pull for me? I reduced those requests from here was the initial deployment to here was after 3 months of a continuous improvement cycle. That's huge. That is absolutely put that resume on the top of the pile. Now I said customization, and it's big. Look at the company's specific problems. If you look at Intel, supply chain, they're having a ton of trouble with their supply chain. Have you ever leveraged your capabilities to implement a solution that the business was able to leverage to improve the efficiency of their supply chain, to reduce their reliance? You're hearing specific language, and now you're targeting a problem that the business has. So if you're looking to transfer into another company, think about this. What problems does that company have? What are they complaining about? What are investors complaining about? Listen to what they talked about on their shareholder call, or look at their quarterly filings. And all you have to do is Google company quarterly filings, quarterly report. And you're going to find a whole bunch of analysts breaking down exactly what their problems are. So if you're going to Netflix, what problems does Netflix have right now, even though they're under a hiring freeze? What problems would a Netflix company be looking for on a resume? How have you monetized users? How have you acquired new users? What have you done to prevent churn? Those are critical. That's what you do to customize your resume. You look for business problems, specific ones, and you put exactly what you think that business might be interested in. And if you don't know the business very well, or if you're applying to a broad number of businesses, think about tailoring it to a particular domain or particular industry, particular function, like a marketing versus logistics versus any other type of role, product facing. So think about what the generic problems, and this goes to KPIs. What are the KPIs that most businesses in that domain and most teams in that functional area are concerned about? Those are the ones that you want to be very specific about, because that's going to help you in any team, sort of more broadly, get recognized by a hiring manager, because I'm going to start recognizing, okay, this person cares about the things and at least the category of stuff that I am accountable for on a regular basis. That's huge. So use value-centric language. Focus on not just I have capabilities and I build stuff. So not just capabilities and outcomes, but also business value and improvement. Whatever you do, don't disconnect these things. Don't put them in 5 different places so I have to figure it out by playing this connect the dots game. Don't do that to me. Make it obvious. I mean, hit me in the face with it and don't bury it. It shouldn't be at the end of your resume. Put it right up front. It's not about education anymore. It's not about years of experience. It isn't even about what company you worked for last. Every hiring manager right now is under the gun. We are accountable for cost savings and revenue generation. Those are our problems at the very simplest level. So talk about how you have applied your capabilities to build solutions with business value, cost savings, or revenue generation. And then how did you improve it? How did you deliver a grand slam and then make it even better? That is what takes your resume from being at the bottom of the pile to the top. And that is the one thing you absolutely must have on your resume in order to get hired in a downturn.